Hello everyone, is the audio clear? Can you guys test for audio? Good evening. Good evening. Yes, so the audio is clear. Good. Good to see you all. And okay, so what we are going to do is I'm going to be telling you some very important points about your GWPI preparation. And for example, they will not be in any particular order. These will be just very important points that you have to take it as rules. Is going to help you in converting your calls. So the first thing is you guys have to start reading. Try reading newspapers, try reading articles, try researching a lot. Like you have to read a lot. It does not matter whether you are someone who has been an avid reader in life. Even if you are not used to reading so far in your life, you should start reading a lot, because whether it be WAT or GD or in an interview, there is also a chance that you can be asked something related to general awareness or some burning issue of the day. So you need to have some good ideas, because even sometimes if you can have your bullet points, you can mug up, few facts and figures. When you're asked to write on an issue or talk on an issue, you need to basically present ideas. So the facts are not the entire body; it is a part of the body. You need even like ideas, about an issue. So you have to start reading. Reading will help you. So one is, of course, the general awareness sessions which are going on. That's a value add, but you have to read a lot, because when you read and then you store, and then a lot of students have been coming up to me and telling me that, sir, we are not in touch with conversing in English language, and we don't have it as a habit. So what to do? So I told them one activity which is going to be very fruitful is, topic is there. Suppose FDI is a topic, or direct investment. You research on the topic, you make your bullet points, your Word document on that topic, and then you try to record yourself. You record your video and audio, and then that way you keep on practicing. And at the same time, because you are also talking on that issue in a camera, in your mobile camera, so you are internalizing it somewhere by speaking it aloud. So you should do this activity a lot. And when we are talking about general awareness, you should try to cover the entire PESEL framework, which is political, economic, social, legal, environmental, technical, all which is there in PESTLE, all the aspects. You should try to have it shouldn't be that you should be just having general awareness about one issue, because all issues are interconnected, all issues. So you can't even separate technical part from our life. It's a pity, actually, most of the students that I have been encountering with, especially engineers, the knowledge about Industry 4.0 and fourth industrial revolution is that of a 7-year-old, which is, which is something which is not good. So there are some things which are inseparable in today's life. Like I just talked about the fourth industrial revolution, which comprises of AI, augmented reality, IoT, and machine learning. These kind of things, you need to have a good read upon them. Whether even if you're a non-engineer, you have to understand that an industrial revolution totally like changes the entire society. So if you recall the digital revolution of the 90s, so any revolution lasts not only for one decade, but it lasts for a few decades. And there have been only 3 industrial revolutions. So this fourth industrial revolution is very big. Of course, in 5 years down 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, it will have totally percolated down to the last part of the society, how it happened with the digital revolution. So you need to know about it. So I'm just talking about like in PESEL network framework, everything is important. Even the environmental part is very important. So many things happening. Recently, I saw the news. I read upon it. So you have to, consume good number of what is happening. In current times, and it's good from right now. If you're going to be hands on the most current affairs of the day, that is an information which will be so fresh that when you'll be using it in your group discussion or in your WAT or an interview, the panelists are going to appreciate and they're going to give you points. And interview carries the maximum weightage because Like around 50% of the points of final selection in most of the top-notch institutes, basically, it's for the interviews. So one is you have to start reading political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental. You have to do reading, and this is not like you can mug it up. That's the reason there is some time. If you read for say 30 days, 40 days, 50 days, by the time your interview time comes, I think you're going to be having a good number of points that directly or indirectly, if you are asked any question, at least from the arena of general awareness, you are completely prepared. I hope this point is clear. You need to research, try to, when you're doing your Google research, try to at least explore all the links which are there on the first page, and then condense whatever you're reading into small points which you understand, and then you record yourself. It's very, very important. All the topics, sometimes you're sitting and suddenly one topic will pop out because you've been reading about it. It can be something as simple as internationally what is known as the Boxing Day. It has nothing to do with boxing. 26th, after Christmas, because the rich class of UK, they used to give gift boxes to their servants after the Christmas day, as reward and a day off, the boxed. That's the reason. Leave that. It can be something as small as this to something, as big as what is China trying to do, and from finger 2 to finger 8, is that anyone's territory or no man's land, and what has been the Chinese transgression into it. So like it has to be all over the place, your preparation, in a sense, all topics you can think of. So you need to start reading. If anything you encounter with respect to general awareness, in WAT, a very high chance. Very seldom in WAT or in a GD, it can be an abstract topic also, but then you can relate whatever knowledge you have accumulated over the past 30, 40 days before your interview on those topics as well, those so-called creative topics. Okay, so this is the general awareness part, but the most important thing is that if someone is not knowing himself or herself, if goal clarity is not there, the purpose of the interview is to basically see whether you have the goal clarity and it is aligned with that of the vision of that business school. It's very, very important. If somewhere you guys before your interview can surf the website of the B school and see what is it that they basically has as their mission and vision statement, you will be able to maybe add a bit of or a touch of it to your answer. That'll be very practical. All of them, all companies also, big companies, they have, you see that profit is no one's motive, because profit is short term, money is short term, like long term they have something noble, of course. So what is it? So so we are talking here about the SOP first, statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is basically they are seeking goal clarity from you. In goal clarity, basically they are seeing that what is your career goal, and of course your career goal is a part of your personal thing. That's the reason it is called personal interview and not a public interview. A personal interview is something personal related to the candidate. So in goal clarity, they are looking at your goal clarity. Your goal clarity is related to you. So your personal thing also comes into play. So in the SOP, you have to understand that from your personal point of view, whether it be your likings, your dislikings, your strengths, your weaknesses, your achievements, successes, what you're good at. We all are good at some things, it's by birth. Some things we are not good at. So like, of course, when you're choosing a career, you have to take these things into consideration. It's like doing a SWOT analysis of oneself. So you have to do that from skill set. What skills do you possess? Your likings, your strengths, long term and short term needs to be aligned, and how that management thing, the MBA thing is basically, getting all. And if you are able to relate it to yourself, it will fetch you more points, because see, for an interviewer or for a person who is checking someone's answers or someone's SOP, something which is very basic, something which is very, very ordinary, like I would like to do MBA from your institute because you have got prestigious faculty members, diverse, respected and diversified peer group, and these kind of things, and very basic general things like what's the point? You don't get a point like for something like that. You have to present your candidature, so please stick to your candidature. Don't read anyone's SOP. That can be the worst thing you can do basically, because everyone's SWOT will be different, everyone's personality will be different, everyone's liking, disliking, everyone's ambition levels, everything might differ. So why the hell you want to take a chance? It's like the worst thing to do basically. As everyone's SOP will be different. Why? Because it will be on their the highlights of their candidature. How MBA part, of course, जैसे तुम हो उसी के बेसिस पे तुम करियर अपना ऑप्शन चूज करते हो. It's like a no-brainer. The problem is that we are trying to frame some sort of, subjective answer sometimes. We don't need a subjective answer. We need an objective answer. You need to objectively present your candidature so that it's very easy for the interviewer to distinctively make certain points, give you points, and that way you have a higher chance of selection. Because of course, even though interview is a very subjective selection process, still there is a marking system, and the more point based you're going to be, the more certain you are going to be in your statements, not I think or I probably, but we need to be absolute in what you're talking about, because they're looking at goal clarity. So in whatever sort of answers is going to be there from your side, you need to ensure that goal clarity is there. Goal clarity is a very vast thing. It's like an ocean. So you don't need to stick to some sort of a mechanical formula. What I mean by that is that sometimes just to get or show, not get, you don't have it, but you want to fake one and you want to show a fake goal clarity. Sometimes what you do is something very stupid, and you select something like an industry because out of suddenly no reason. And like today itself, you'll think, okay, let's do something, like let's get into steel business, like so let's become a steel magnet. Don't come up with unique ideas. Stick to something which can have some basis in your life so far. Whatever has been your years of existence of life, like sticking to that, like don't suddenly come out. If I think a lot of you attending the session today would have attended the session which I took at Indira Gandhi Pratishthan, in December. And we talked about this girl Nandita and how she was unnecessarily coming up with that she wants to open a manufacturing plant of medical equipments and sell it out of nowhere. She had nothing to do with it. She was not able to do a good job with that in her first trial. But in second trial, she was successful. She went to IIM Lucknow and she successfully passed from IIM Lucknow and got a good job, and is doing well in life. So now the most important point is your answers are your answers. Sometimes if you're looking for an anchor, then let me give you a hint. Make a unique selling point document about yourself, a USP document. What is a USP document? A USP document is a document where all your strengths, good things, mix objective, subjective. Objective, your scholastic achievements, extracurricular achievements, co-curricular achievements, objective points. Subjective points, you have good personality traits, and sometimes you have not won awards, but experience wise, what have been your experiential achievements, like your high moments in terms of experiential achievements so far. And you can, so it's a mix basically, your USP document. And this USP document, a shadow, a reflection of USP document should be in almost most of the personal interview answers, because the professors won't be asking you more than one personal question actually in the interview. So it's not the interview is going to be like a very long thing. Interview just, it's like, it just happens. You will enter and like in no time the interview is over and you will be going out. It's a very short span of time. It's not something which will be a very long experience. So that's the reason why you need to be prepared. It's like how people say that you should know when to rise to moments. So you have interview is basically a moment to rise, and you need to be prepared from general awareness perspective, from personal interview answer perspective. So they might ask just one, like, tell me something about yourself or introduce yourself. This is basically going to be asked to 90% of the times. 90% of the times. Tell me something about yourself or introduce yourself. Now, why the hell is the professor asking you this question? Of course, so that you can do the job. So that they are assuming that you are a bright individual and you have gone there to rise and shine. So when tell me something about yourself, of course everyone will start with a pretty obvious kind of an introduction, but as we move on, you will try to highlight the highlights of your candidature or your CV or your resume. It's very important to make a resume, even though most of the business schools won't be asking for it. It's very important. Why? Because you need to condense what you are and what you are good at, what you're good at, so that you should present it in a proper way. Everyone's presentation is going to be different. I hope I am clear so far, like, not going very fast. Right, people are getting it. Okay, so in tell me something about yourself, as I told you, the beginning is going to be common, where you're from and blah blah blah. Your mom, dad. If you want to talk about your mom, dad, what do they do? Where you're from? Like it differs. Like some people I have seen, they have 10, 15 points, and these are big points. It has happened to be, to me quite a good number of times. That the problem now is that in introduce yourself, how do I fit in so many points? Because I don't know, I am so less talented. But when I'm looking at most of the candidates, during every GWPI season, sometimes I am seeing like very talented people. So what I'm telling them, some of you may be belonging to that category, that don't elaborate a lot if you are having many points. Give a basic introduction, one liner, one liner, one liner. So 10 points, 10 liners. That's it. You think the professor is going to keep on giving you an opportunity to go on? It's not that you are in the Roman Senate. It's not possible. They will cut you short. So now, sometimes people ask me, what is the right order? Like introduce yourself. Like, should I first tell them that I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer, or should I tell them that I'm a tennis player, or should I tell them I've always come first, or should I tell them I do this or I do that? What I've got some points. How do I present? I play chess and I've done this, these kind of things. Only you will know what is the true level of points. Don't hide. So interview needs to be as honest. See, if you're going to be dishonest and not selected, you'll blame yourself that you tried some shortcut. I have seen people apply shortcuts, and fail so miserably that in my industry, it's the most common happening, So I'm going to tell you with full confidence here, please try to be as honest as possible. It increases your chances of selection because you'll be more sincere, and no matter what probe is thrown at you, you will not be able to feel uncomfortable, because what is there to hide from? Like, it's a natural thing. For example, I used to play cricket. And when I went for the interview, so of course, if I was going to be asked, what's your hobby? I would have said cricket. And I was asked, what's your hobby? I said, it's cricket. And it's not that I mugged up facts, I know nowadays people are so crazy, they will mug up facts and figures and whatnot, who has the most this, that, and all, where, which ground. I didn't do any of that, because I actually used to love playing cricket. It's not that I used to love mugging up, statistics and information and general GK questions about cricket. So whenever I went for an interview, never was I nervous, or I was taking unnecessary pressure and burden on myself. You need to relax it. Do whatever study you need to do. But if you're genuinely liking something, or if you are a certain kind of a person, if everyone is a certain type of personality with their own strengths and likings and things they're good at and their achievements and their failures and all, you need to be first analyze yourself and then present it properly. You will know the order of points, because you know that कौन सा इवेंट या क्या किस प्लेटफॉर्म पे कितना बड़ा था या छोटा था या असली था या नकली था कि क्या था, मतलब. So I think that is a very, very important thing, because see, in the interview, uh, you will be under pressure and the interviewer will not be under pressure, because of which it will be very easy for the interviewer to maybe see through you. No point in telling them fake things. Okay, some of you guys, even if you will be doing it in the end, because I don't know why you are too unsure about yourself or unsure about your personality and all, you'll do whatever the research you have to do. Now, the more important thing here is that the selection is on your strong points, not on your weak points. If you are going to be grilled upon your weak points, it is just to see that whether you are a human being or not. Because if you're a human being, you'll be comfortable with not knowing something, because those are the things you're not good at. It's okay. What is not okay is if you're telling them you are into something and you don't know anything, or even 30% or 40% or 50% about it, then that is going to be something which will make you feel uncomfortable and all. Dishonesty or something like that, if it is reflecting in your interview, your chances of selection is zero actually. The other person is going to think that this person is thinking that I'm a fool, even though I'm a smart Alec or something like that. Like smart, sorry. So it's very, very important that you try to stay as genuine as possible. Whatever few, see, I'm saying even if you are having some of you're not having 9, 10 points. I have seen some students, they have 1 or 2 points. You talk about those 1 or 2 points. What's there? Maybe at the end of the day they would only allow 3, 4 points or nothing beyond it. As I'm telling you, they won't let you talk a lot. So that's the reason you need to condense things as much as possible. If you have lots of points, if you have less points, you will elaborate more. So of course, like everyone will be adjusting, as per where they are, how many points they have. Everything will boil down to the number of points. Even in GD and W80, like when you're going to be doing the W80, everything is how many points you have been able to present, how many points do you know. In GD also, how many points. Some people, if they want to reiterate the same point, or just waste time, or just build on someone else's point unnecessarily, to score points and all, that's the worst thing to do. It's like parasite, that kind of behavior. You need to, no free riders here, no free lunches. They say no free riders. Everyone needs to pitch in their own points. Originality is very important, and you need to give your best. So here, how the originality will come, that if you are reading a lot from now, most of you will be having interview after 50 days. So you have 50 days is like a lot. 50 days of reading, you'll be able to amass so much information, plus your personal interview. Tell me something about yourself. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Weakness is not, sir, I am too hardworking and I am just killing it, no attention to anything, just killing it. After the summer internship, your reporting manager fills a summer internship form. In my summer internship form at Nobel Group Hong Kong, my boss was a general manager there. He gave me excellent in everything, and the only suggestion was actually he should work less, take care of his health or something like that. But still, I will not post it as a weakness, because that's just sometimes required, as like how you are supposed to give your best now for the interview. You don't need to be a slacker, you need to read a lot. So you cut down, if you're sleeping for 10 hours or 9 hours or 8 hours, cut it to 6, 7 hours, something like that. Read a lot. Those people who are working, read a lot. Students who are not working also read a lot, plus also read about your, now if you are a student, you're not a working professional, you please start brushing up on your whatever you have studied, the important things of your semester 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. You need to brush up on. Now, who will tell you what to do, what not to do? I have already sent some pointers, some questions which have been asked in IIMs, in all the groups about their stream, engineering stream, commerce stream, and economics and things like that. So you have a pointer, but you will know what was important. Everyone's course was different. So, like my course was very different in English literature. I did BA honors in English literature, and after that, I went to, that's the story where I went. But yeah, first I did BA honors in English literature. So in my course, I know what was there, what was taught. Graham Greene's human factor and Pygmalion, and Raja Ram Mohan Roy's Kanthapura, and different poems and history of English literature by E. Albert. I will know my course. So you will know your course. So you read whatever was important in your course. That's important. So that's the most important thing, more than anything. Like if you're a student, more important than even general awareness. They are not expecting everyone to be in the game of quizzing. You know that. Is that like they're not expecting you to be perfect in general awareness. The problem is the competition. The competition is so much in the top business schools. The seats are less. So like there is a lot of competition, and that's the reason you need to utilize every single opportunity that comes your way to rise and shine and differentiate yourself. You know, they're not expecting, but you have to what to do. Too much competition is there. So now where we are going to go on the most important thing for a student and what's the most important thing for a working professional. So from a student, if you're studying, you have to know about everything important that has been taught to you in all the semester so far. For a working professional, your work profile, your department, your company, your industry analysis, you know, some like maturity need to, because that's what you want to be a basically reader of management. You want to go to the academic part, the bookish part. If you want to go for it, then it's very, very important. They'll be expecting you to be a researcher about your own industry and know about your own industry and what is the latest happening in your industry, the best practices, the best innovations happening in your industry. This is very, very important. And then because you're working, so also they're expecting you to know that, okay, what now that you're doing some kind of job, what kind of job you want to do 5 years, 10 years down the line, what sort of companies you want to work for, like they expect you to build some, not complete. Again, we are not expecting a complete answer like Nandita here. She must be feeling bad if she ever comes to know we are doing this to her. So you need to know that they are expecting that because of your work experience, you would have built some basis of what you want to do, what kind of work you want to do. Not compulsorily an industry, but if in industry they won't mind it, like you need to have some idea. More logic is there na? In comparison to someone who is still a student, like they are still studying and all. That's the reason academically they need to get sound, and you guys need to earn work experience. Now, if your work experience is very recent, less than 12 months, say, then you also need to have some idea about the academic, you know, what to do, because we need to take some benchmark here. So I think 12 months is good enough. So you need to be, even those who are having 1 to 2 years, something like, okay, you don't need to do completely bookish, but you need to know like broader things, broader basics. Only someone with 3 years experience and all, they might be like talking more on the work experience part also, like majorly. So I hope this is clear that what is expected of you. It's very, very important. So this Friday, sorry, this Saturday and Sunday, we'll be having the GWPI bootcamp. And it's going to be a very, very important, you know, activity. Those students who have got calls above 99 percentile and those students who have got Ahmedabad and Lucknow call, because these are the only two IIMs whose calls have been received. So they will be given the interviews first because they have already got the calls from the Ahmedabad, Lucknow. So they do whichever calls, the way they will be released, so will be their interview dates. जिसका कॉल जितना लेट आएगा उसका उतना इंटरव्यू भी लेट होगा. तो इंटरव्यू उसका तो मई तक भी जाएगा. अप्रैल मई में भी इंटरव्यू, मई में भी इंटरव्यूज चलेंगे. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट, डोंट इट ऑल वर्क आउट दैट सर मेरा नंबर कब आएगा. सबका नंबर आएगा. तो फिर in the GWPI bootcamp on Saturday, Sunday from morning till late night, 9 o'clock maybe, we will be basically having intensive rounds of interviews by, you know, those people who are, you know, in the system. They are professors or they have been professors at not only IIMs, but in IIM Ahmedabad, also of the FPM program, and, you know, people who have written books in finance and like many other people who are like going to be the right set of people to basically ensure that it's not only the interview, but the feedback you receive and the way you will be taught to basically further fine tune your answers. That's going to be a major help. But before that, I'm anyways in you know, daily conversation with many of you through WhatsApp or through Telegram, and I've been checking answers, and, you know, you guys need to just nail it. It has to be perfect by Friday because Saturday, Sunday is when your interviews are going to be. So Because anyways, I think if we just take Lucknow calls, we are, in having many students like, who have calls from IIM Lucknow. Indore also released. IIM Indore's calls is also released, Sumit sir is saying. So, I think only if we take the Ahmedabad and Lucknow and now Indore is released, there will be some close to 100 students maybe very soon. Like, so that day, okay, even though interviews, those students who will be asked to give interviews are Excelsiors, that means those students who have above 99 percentile, and those students who have Ahmedabad call or Lucknow call or now Indore call has been released or any other Blackie call if it is released before, they will be taking like back-to-back interviews. They'll be like washing machine mein how clothes are washed. So they will be washed completely, and that's going to like make them leaner and lean up, like more streamlined for interviews. But they should try to get their answers checked through me first, so that before they say something stupid, there are like why waste time? Like you go only with certain level of preparedness there, so that you can who can top. I know who can top, because I've been there a lot of times now. Someone who is on the top of things. So if you're on the top of your preparation for GWPI in terms of your personal interview questions or general awareness questions or academic questions or industry questions, then you will just go there and you will just perform, and you will further get a validation that yes, you are prepared, you are there ready to rock and roll. And of course, most of you will not be prepared. So let me break that false illusion. And it's a process. It's not that immediately your answers will be perfect or your performance will be perfect. It will take some time, but you will be prepared before the interview, your actual interviews. We'll be having multiple boot camps. So those students who are getting calls later, don't worry, there'll be multiple. This is not the first and the last. This is definitely the first, because I was waiting for, I had asked a question. So Mr. had posted a poll in the group. You guys asked me to wait till ZAT examination. Before that, I shouldn't be doing GWPI boot camps. Now, I think in the next 6 weekends, at least 5 weekends should be GWPI boot camps, intensive interview sessions, because that's what is important. And WAT will also be happening, and your answers will also be getting validated, and we'll be getting more into the GWPI mode from this week itself. Now, those students who are not Excelsiors or who have not got Excelsiors, means above 99 percentile, who don't have IIM Lucknow call or Ahmedabad call or Indore call, they can also come. But you have to understand, everyone has to follow a dress code. It has to be formal. If you're not going to be wearing formals, then you're going to be turned away. So it's very important to come in formals. Plus, those people who will be giving the interviews, that is those students who have Blackie calls or Blackie calls. Cozy code is not a call. It's an application round. Okay, by the way, some students are asking me questions like IIM Jammu is asking for application for MBA in hospital administration and all. Please don't do this stupidity. Stick to your MBA. Do a general MBA. Don't be a thorn in your own career flesh. I would put it that way. So it's very, very important that you focus on regular MBA, normal MBA, and don't compromise with institute. The MBA is not having that much value. The institute is having more value than the MBA, because there have been like innumerable MBA institutes, a sea of MBA institutes, and they all, I think, are a big failure. Only few of them are very successful. And if you're getting to do an MBA from those few successful MBA institutes, you should only take risk then. Otherwise, you can just wait, because I don't understand what is happening. Some students are behaving as if their age is crossing, for marriage or something like that. They are behaving, sir, ek saal, matlab, what do you mean by ek saal? Like what? Ek saal out of your, maybe if you're going to be alive for 70 years, if I assume. So like 1 upon 70, what the hell is this? It's too bad. Like 1 upon 70 is too bad. So like it's nothing actually. So you have to ensure, that you are able to take a logical decision. Don't fall into this stupid trap that, okay, I'll do an MBA, I'll get MBA only the beneficiary, like in life. Life is like a pyramid, unfortunately. And I think it's impossible, whether it's a communist country or a socialist country or a capitalist country, nobody can break the pyramid. We all are born that way, that there is always a pyramid. And you will see as the pyramid goes up, there are very few people and they're enjoying and they're like, like really living it big. So it's very important that something similar happens here in MBA Institute also, like a pyramid. So it's better that if you're in the top of the pyramid, if you're at the bottom or middle, then what was the point? What was the point? You just wanted to save that 1 upon 70. 1 by 7, I think, is 14.28%. So here we're talking about 1.4%. And is going to take you to the next level, the next level, the level of level, next level, few $1,000,000 at least. Very soon in your your life at a very early stage, they're going to few $1,000,000 of earning.
Someone is asking a question.
Okay, Satyam, I didn't know that the Q&A was on officially, but I think it looks like you have, just opened the Pandora's box here. And so what I can read from your question is that you have 3 years of work experience in a startup. You have been very lucky because in a startup, you are able to see, many departments like finance, marketing, operations, systems, HR, logistics and all, how like from no structure to some structure and like how they all are getting built up and the challenges, and it's like a romantic phase because the company has just started. So it's a very good experience. They count it as an experience, but you have to show it also on paper. Some people say, sir, I have work experience in a startup, but I don't have any paper. I have no money was coming in. Like I find it difficult to believe. Things need to be in order. If you have a company, if you have a proprietorship, then you will be the proprietor. So you need to show your ITR. They might ask you, you need to have some paper. Like you can't just say something that you want. But good. And family business, yes. If you can show passion, if this guy is saying that can I, like, even though I didn't work and I fake family experience because I'm coming, they will test your knowledge. Let me put it that way. Whether you should do or not is it's up to you. They will test the knowledge and passion. In knowledge, there is a word called depth. So you can assume then, like, if you going to be tested, then you need to show some passion and depth and, like, so you need to, of course, and please, you should know all the details, the smaller details, the financial details, everything about the family business. Yes, good, Satya. These answers were not specifically for Satyam. It was for everyone in general. Satyam must be feeling that we are alleging that this guy is a crook, but it's okay. Career goals. Okay. So someone has asked that how do we describe our career goals? First, I won't know what's your career goal. You just need to describe it. Sometimes, I don't know why we're even thinking, let's think of an answer. Let me start it that way, my friends. Sometimes we are thinking, let's get an answer. The answer is there in your head. Like, honesty is the best policy first. Second, somewhere the answer is there. You should need to work on the presentation part. I can understand that. But the basics, you need to first make the USP document. Your career goal will be aligned to what you are good at and what you want to do. These two things majorly. What you are good at, what you want to do, two things. I want to do something, but I am shit in it. How will be my career long term? Tell me. Makes no sense, right? I'm very good at something, but I hate that thing. So one day I will die, maybe of stress. So it's very, very important that your career goal is practical and it is not detached to something completely and attached to something completely, and they are not contradicting each other. It shouldn't happen like that. Everyone's career goal will be different. You need to mention it. Okay, now I know some of you guys are greedy. You want to do an MBA so that you can earn some quick money, good money, and at a young age you can be in some senior fancy position and you can be earning money. And one day maybe you can either do something on your own or do something big or earn more money. You guys are greedy, I know that. But now you are no more a child. So your mom and dad must be telling you when you were in school that you greedy, stop being greedy. But now you're in the open world, they can't see that you're greedy anymore. So you need to basically just forget about the greed part. Keep it at home, keep it locked in your heart, Greed for money, for like, are you really ambitious, like greedy, and you want to be like, no need to come at all. Why? These are personal things. You need to bottle it up, not behave like maybe Anil Kapoor at the Oscars. So it's very, very important that, You are able to just forget about greed. You remember in this year, last year I was busy. Last year I remember I shared the video also in decision making for that. I said be Mahatma Gandhi. So you need to, when you talk about career goals, now you need to first try understanding what are you applying for right now. Can anyone write it there? What are you applying for? Can anyone tell me what are you applying for? Any answer? Nobody is giving the answer. What? Admission to a B school, master's degree, knowledge and experience for business skills education. Admission in a college, no, that's too vague. I hope in your answers you are not going to be that like, vague. Admission in a college, like, which college? Why not a B.Ed college then? Okay, so the answer is very, very simple. Good peers connect. Akshat, I think this is not a club, not a cool club where people are connecting a lot and, okay, so the true answer is they're expecting for the academic program. That was the answer. You are basically giving money, fees. What are you giving? Fees. Where do you give fees? School, university, So basically, it's an academic program, academic business program, MBA program. It's an academic program. So you need to show some understanding because now you guys are no more in your teenage. I think there is no one today who is a teenager. So you guys need to grow up and you need to basically think accordingly towards that part, the academic part. I want you guys to basically research on the course curriculum of the academic program from all its subjects like finance management, operations management, marketing management, systems management, human resource management, strategic management. These are basically the types of management programs. Like if we talk about functions, you need to go and you need to check, especially if suppose someone is saying I'm interested in marketing. So they need to basically know the subjects which are there from brand management and product policy to consumer behavior to channel management to sales management to business marketing. They need to know what are the kind of subjects which are taught under the heading marketing because they are assuming that, and this is what happens. Placement happens just like this. That's it. It's done. One day you get up, you have no clue. The next thing you know, that day you're going for an interview. The next thing you know is you're coming out, you're selected for sure. That's what happens in actually the top B schools. So it's a very like it's a 5-minute, 10-minute thing and it's over. Then what do you do? Like what do you think you're doing majorly? Basically, classes are going on. It's the academic program. Classes are happening. Sometimes classes are happening at night also. You know why? Because they are being held over weekends and some professor had to, as a visiting professor and has flown from some place, outside probably from India and you need to like, he needs to finish his credits. So it's classes, mostly classes, books, classes, projects, presentations, for all of you, not very entertaining, not very exciting. So you guys need to know what is there in the academic program. Otherwise, it's foolish actually. It's actually foolish. Otherwise, why are you going? You need to, like, it's basic first thing. So you need to research on the course curriculum so that if it is possible, okay, you don't need to force an academic connect, but if it is possible to establish an academic connect with respect to any subject topic, even topic, not a subject, but the topic under a subject, which you have studied so far in your life, you should definitely try to mention it in your SOP or in your answer. Because it's logical, you're going for the academic program, but don't force. Okay, maths is there, quant is there and all, fine, you can establish the connection still there if you're an engineer, if that's what you wanted to know. Some courses, if you can't make an academic connect, I'm making industry connect. Some connection is required in your answer. So everyone's connect to management, education programs will be different. You need to basically connect. You can't write an answer like I'm going for placements. Basically, I'm doing this job. I know I can't grow in this job, and I know this. I'm going to study here for 2 years, and I'm going to get a job, better job, bigger job. They would like to be seen as a placement agency. You need to show some real initiative towards knowing what is there in the course program, and it's good also. You'll be better prepared. You select your own subjects. Do you know that? So in your second semester, by the end of your second semester itself, you will start selecting which all subjects, which all credits you want to, and you can make the mix like the Bhel Puri mix. You can make the mix. You want to major in 2 areas like marketing, finance, or 3 areas, operations also along with this. How many majors, how many minors? So by mistake, I said minors. So it's very important to have some basic idea about the subjects. Why also? Because I will tell you, if you are completely, so in your first semester, there are some subjects, if you're completely alien to them, you start studying a little bit on it or start doing something. Otherwise, you'll be at a loss there. When you join there, right now you're thinking about interview because it's the next thing. But after the interview is over, joining will be the next thing. And then the problem can be like, there are some subjects you can be totally at a loss that, oh my God, what was it? What came? So students who are like engineers, they can maybe understand a little bit of financial accounting because it is there in first semester. How to post entry, like what is debit, what is credit, and what is P&L, what is balance sheet, and things like that. And then similarly, those students who are not good at maths can see what is taught in maths area in maths, in your first semester, so they can, brush up on it. It's very important actually. If you are completely like blank on certain subjects, what do you expect is going to happen there? Nobody will teach. You will be all alone. So it's very important that you go prepared there. What's the difference between an average B school and an Ivy League B school? I can tell you actually what is the difference. I have faced it to an extent because I have been to both. And like I joined a good business school, TAPME, but I left it in 1.5 months, realizing that it's not going to meet my career expectations. And then I joined IIM-K code, so I was able to see the difference. So in a Ivy League B school, as I told you, there's going to be less camaraderie and less helping happening and less, bhaichara and all these kind of things happening. You are basically left to yourself. It's the perfect place to basically rise, like a phoenix from the ashes, or learn how to, like, have your own spine or how to build your own metal. No professor and no one is going to be hand holding you. And if you go to an average B school, things are going to be like, everyone will be helping. But you're getting the help both from your batch as well as the professors and all. But Ivy League B school, the thing is, you not like experience sometimes, but finally it teaches you, how to stand on your own and how to stand tall actually. So excuse me, we'll do this later. You are disturbing. Okay, so here we are going to be coming back to what we're talking about, not compromise. Okay, now we're getting back to the GWPI preparation, the interview part. I have already told you a lot of things. Now, those students will be giving interviews on Saturday and Sunday. They need to come prepared with the folder. Others also need to learn what is the folder and what is supposed to be there in the folder. The folder, the first thing which will be in the folder is going to be your CV. What is a CV? CV again is the highlights of your career. Now here, because it's an interview for an academic program, even your 10, 12 graduation, that university, college, this blah, blah, marks, this, that, and all needs to be there. But CV is the highlights of your candidature. So whether it be your internships or your more important projects, like the projects which you liked or enjoyed or whatever, or if you have work experience and work expert, the highlights of the resume needs to be there, your hobbies, your strengths, achievements, all types of achievements. Please start making a CV. Is there a format for CV? No, there is no. Again, you can go online. There are multiple formats. There is no need to stick to a format, but stick to a formal format. Don't make it fancy. No neons. No funky things happening here, either in dressing or in, so even for Saturday, Sunday, you be dressed the way you'll be dressed up so that you get used to it. नया कपड़ा आदमी पहन के जा रहा है, उसे थोड़ा इधर उधर कट रहा है, uncomfortable लग रहा है, that's not worth it, right? So you need to try it in these boot camps. You buy, or because generally we sometimes may not be having, so some of us will be more casually dressed. So you need to buy, and you need to understand that any color is accepted, but no funky color. Keep it like formal. So someone is going to ask whether gray or blue or this or that, like all like good. Just don't make it funky. No sharak din, no prints here, no guju prints also. Just keep it simple. No, I just want to be clear. no, sorry, this was not meant to be, a regional jibe or something. I'm just being honest. Don't make it too colorful there. Keep it very simple and carry your folder. The first thing is the CV in the folder. Second thing is the SOP. You are good at handwriting, you like to flaunt it. So in your own handwriting, if you're bad at handwriting, get it type it basically and get it. And that day of interviews will be happening. So you don't ask us to like every time it happens. Most of the students are, sir, like photocopy and everything, and it's delaying. I don't mind using you guys using the machines or getting the help, but the problem is interviews need to start, need to be prepared completely. Folder, what I'm expecting is first the CV, second the SOP. What is SOP? Statement of purpose. What is it? Purpose of applying for an academic MBA program. How does it all fit in your master plan, career plan? गोल क्लैरिटी थ्रू दिस दे आर जजिंग योर गोल क्लैरिटी बेसिकली और आपको आपके आंसर विस्तार में लिखने बोल रहे हैं ताकि वो देखें कि गोल क्लैरिटी है कि नहीं. दिस इज बेसिकली द एंड गेम ऑफ द एसओपी. सो प्लीज, goal clarity is not absolute. Again, this is comes to the disclaimer. Again, you guys will come up with something random. I want to be in the movie exhibition industry and I want to change the experience of movie like watchers and all, which is going down. People are going more into OTT. Everyone is into OTT. So that's how it is. And then after that, वर्कएक्स है. तो क्या एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे वो लोग वर्कएक्स में? तुम्हारा अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर और लास्ट सैलरी स्लिप. इससे तो सब पता चल जाता है. या फर्स्ट सैलरी स्लिप, लास्ट सैलरी स्लिप, ये इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. वर्कएक्स नहीं है तो तुम्हारा जो कॉलेज का मार्क्स है, और वर्कएक्स के बाद कॉलेज का मार्क, फिर स्कूल का मार्क, और उसके बाद सारे अच्छे सर्टिफिकेट जिस ऑर्डर में तुम्हें पता है उनका वैल्यू है. दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Folder will have everything, all your certificates, academic certificates, central graduation certificates, your workx proof is everything, and workx achievements and other types of achievements, and your CV and your SOP. So and the folder needs to be neat, not ragged and all. It needs to be a new folder. Don't be saving money and buying some bogus folder. It needs to be a good folder. You need to come prepared for the Saturday and Sunday interview. It's going to be very formal. It's going to be a formal setup. Those students who will be disturbing us, like, okay, so others can also come for the GWPI boot camp. Maybe you think you'll be getting also good calls. Who knows? You can come, but first you'll observe. But you have to come dressed up informal, so that it's not like nobody can. It has to be as real as possible. It is as real as possible. Maybe you will be encountering some of these interviewers in your actual interviews. Who knows? So it's very important to be real. We all will be very real, extra real that day. So others can also come, but they have to behave. And anyone who makes any sound, their punishment will be, I'll ask that person to stand for 5 minutes. That person will look like a moron standing for 5 minutes, After 5 minutes, he will have to sit. So it'll be very formal, it'll be very good. So in the first boot camp, it may happen that you will see that your performance is not that great. It's okay, it's going to be an improvement journey. Now, how steep is going to be the learning curve depends on you guys, how much you're able to absorb, how much you're able to prepare. I think the key to success being at the top, I was talking about it earlier, is doing your best and learning after that. Not coming like, you have just been born. So the preparedness needs to be there, and then the learning, you learn at a different level actually. So, okay, these things are important. Now, in personal interview questions, we have talked about tell me something about yourself and what are your strengths and weaknesses, and what are your hobbies and interests. Okay, if you have a hobby, you mention about it. If you don't have a hobby, don't mention about it. Don't lie. Don't come up with a hobby. Why? A hobby will again be measured by the depth and the passion. Depth of knowledge and passion. So how can you fake a hobby? And don't try to bring humor by saying that, okay, maybe you're not into singing, you just want to think that you're a good singer, and you will say, my hobby is singing and all. They'll ask you to sing, you will sing, but then they're looking at each other and that, is this a prank or something like that? If you're a good singer, of course flaunt it. If you are just someone whose mummy and papa thinks, or some friends think that you're a good singer, like you need to, if you're mentioning specifically about a hobby, if not asked for, just mentioning it by yourself, that means that you won't talk about it. Hobby is meaningful to your existence, to your life. You want to talk about it. And it's not necessary how much gyan you have academic about it. It's the passion and the actual knowledge of what you do. If you're a pace bowler, how do you bowl? Which are your favorite deliveries? How do you bowl those deliveries? What's the mindset like? It's more the actual stuff actually. So that is also allowed, but you can't be lacking on both the fronts and not knowing anything. I have worked abroad experience, but do not have any certificate for that. Oh my God, like what kind of work experience was this? Tell me. Need to have some proof. Why will anyone believe you? Some visa thing. We'll discuss about it. Don't worry. You guys can DM me. You don't have to put your personal queries here. Don't worry. What you need to do is you need to be patient, and you all have my number. You need to telegram me your queries. I will respond individually because everyone's query will be different. So first, I want to talk about actually a few important things. Now here, we talked about the hobbies and interests. It needs to be like real, not a fake one. And if it is real, you please research on it. Like easy to say that mug up 6 books and what is their summary and say that I am into book reading. I know book readers. They actually like I don't understand how, but they like book reading a lot. If they get free time, they'll be reading books. Friend of mine, Amit Maurya, he will also be taking your interviews. He is in senior management, in program management at Google Singapore. So I was with him for Christmas and New Year. So he had got some books ordered at my place here, in Lucknow, and he asked me to get, all those books, which was a pain, carrying all. Why will I carry books? But he's a friend. So people like him there. So he'll also be taking interviews. We'll be having even people. One of my friend, he is in the product management side, senior product management side in Google Maps. He's my batchmate from IIM-K Aditya. So he will also be taking interviews. Some of the engineers, they want to be product managers, and also we'll be having different types of interviews, different rounds of interviews. So you don't need to think that okay, if I'm not performing well in the first interview, let me take a gun and just do something funny with it. You just need to relax, take a chill pill. And improvement will happen, but you need to be keen to learn, to observe, to take criticism. Because I know personally some of you will be having a lot of flaws in you are not having a flaw as a human. It's like in your presentation of your answers, a lot of flaws basically. So they need to be like dealt with severely and just thrown away. And I remember one guy, his name is Arpit. And he came like a joker with all attitude and all. And I told him that, see, if you're going to behave like an idiot, you will, you will not succeed. His line only was, hi, everyone, my name is Arpit. In the interview, he said, I say this, and I'm a drunk entrepreneur. And he was trying to be cool. But in that process of looking cool, he was looking more like a fool because this is not an interview. This is an academic program interview. This is not even a job interview, to understand it. But then he was a very smart fellow, he was able to take the criticism positively. And he worked upon the interviews and all, and he finally got selected in ISB Hyderabad, Indian School of Business Hyderabad, not IBS ICFI Business School Hyderabad. That is like what. And here we're talking about ISB Hyderabad, which is like IIM's only. So he got selected there and he passed out also. So the point is attitude. I remember I mentioned a lot of times the CAT convener said that in interview, the interview is an attitudinal test. We are basically seeing how's the attitude of the individual. Like your attitude is the most important thing. It's the prima facie most important. Like if you have that, then 70% of the battle is won, 20% is knowledge about things related to yourself, and 10% is, of course, goal clarity. Again, like how SOP they are, they want to give weightage to goal clarity also in every, whenever they get it. Because goal clarity is why you should be there. If you don't have goal clarity, why you want to go there and take someone's seat? They know a lot of people are interested in basically studying them. They don't want to give it to someone who is like, let's do it, let's not do it, like 50-50, 70-30 also. 80-90%. That's the reason 100% also. I'm not like saying you have to force 100% that I want to do consulting in this industry only and blah 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 blah. Don't narrow your options. Like how don't do these industry courses and Even those students who are interested in analytics, I would like suggest them strongly that no, first do a general MBA, because you will never get that opportunity again. You'll be just limited, to a function or to a something, blah blah. Like, you'll never be in a position to basically lead an organization. It's very, very important that you go do a general MBA. And questions to prepare. Anuj, I have already sent it. I'll send it again after the session today. We have already sent the questions, personal interview questions, and questions on the subjects which are asked and these kind of things. So we will send it again. I hope you are our student. If you don't have it, that means you're not our student, but you can still request for it. So now the more important point here is, let's come to other questions which are asked there in the personal interview questions. So here if they ask about a significant achievement, it is not compulsory, but you need to have it. Let's put it this way: it need not be that recent, but it need not be that old also. Fifth standard pay, fourth standard pay. Sometimes I'm seeing someone has been asked about a significant achievement, and the person is posting something, an incident related to fifth standard, sixth standard, seventh standard. Like, this is going way back. Okay, but still, if you have nothing, then it's there, out of no choice you are forced to just mention or go that back in your career life, personal life, professional life. But it's okay. But if it is recent, it's better. If it is not recent, also it's not compulsory, but if it is recent, it will be better. And here in the significant achievement, okay, not only in significant achievement part, in any of the answer, please don't try to use very big words to describe yourself. That's again a suggestion, because you're going there from an academic program and you are still like in your early 20s or something like that. So if you try to boast a lot or try to use big words and sound like a gas gun, that means a boaster actually. So that won't look good at all. Big words. I am a leader, or very few of you would have actually led something very, very big so far in your life. So I don't know whether it'll be good enough. These professors, most of them are doing consulting assignments and raking in hundreds of crores for the institute where they're working on like big company projects and all. So like, don't, you are starters, you're beginners, and that's the reason you need a springboard. And this is actually the best springboard. You should use that springboard. Now, coming back to your answers, don't be boastful at all. Now, in failure, don't come up with an unnecessary fake thing again, okay? Like weaknesses also, don't come up with strange things which are actually you're saying something good only, but you are like polishing it, embellishing it with some, hyperbole to make it look as if it is more into like a weakness part. Don't do that. Try to be realistic, but if you are a sick person, don't show it. To some of you, if you have like too big a weakness or something too shitty, don't show it. Nobody wants to know. Like, maybe you should work on it, but like weakness, okay, fine. You talk about the weakness. Try also not to talk about weaknesses which are directly contrary to management strengths, leadership strengths, business leadership strengths. You say, I'm totally unorganized person and I'm late and I just procrastinate and I'm a lazy bum and I don't do anything, and like don't, what's like, you're basically showing a personality which is completely opposite to the personality you want to be. MBA is an academic program. It is not a BDP program. It's not a personality development program. Even though personality will develop because of the experiences you will be having there, but it's an academic program basically where you are taught subjects and there are examinations and there are Monday tests. These kind of things, these kiddish things. So which are important if you have to force learning. So it's very important that you focus on these things which I'm talking about. So by Friday, not only those students who are basically going to be giving the interviews, I want all of you who are in the GWPI preparation mode to basically prepare the answers to the interview questions. It is very, very important. Personal interview questions, and the academic question page is basically probe. It will start the probe on your part to start brushing up on your academics, and for how to handle emotions in an interview. Can anyone tell me how to? Can charity work be considered a significant achievement? Yes. Should be some good charity work, Akash. It shouldn't be कि मैं जाके एक दिन 20 लोगों को नींबू पानी पिला दिया, something like that, respond to my question. Api, can you reiterate the question?
Whose question?
I have asked them a question, basically. Yes, Astitu, you're talking about NGO, but it should be okay. Work experience needs to have 3 riders. Only if it is after graduation. Only if it is full time. Only if it is paid. After graduation, full time means morning till night, or maybe some people have night job from night to morning and paid. It is very important. By thinking it more like a civilized discussion. Astitvi, you ping me. Whatever doubts you guys have, you need to ping me about it. You need to DM me. I will respond to every single one. Maybe some people will be late tomorrow, but tomorrow everyone's doubt will be clarified. Let's not ask personal doubts here. Okay, here someone is talking about some things here like posting, which is good. All of them is basically making sense. Now here we are talking about personal interview questions. Start the general awareness part, start reading. The first line was start reading. Please start reading. It is very, very important. Okay, सबका प्रोसेस अलग होगा लर्निंग का. कुछ लोग क्या है लिखेंगे, कुछ लोग टाइप करेंगे, कुछ लोग सिर्फ पढ़ के उसको याद करेंगे. सबका प्रोसेस अलग होता है. But then the problem is because in the next 50 days, 60 days, 70 days, you'll be reading so much, you'll be having so much information that if you're not going to be providing a very systematic framework from the very first go, you are going to be in trouble. Information overload will happen. You won't know what the hell to talk about. A पूछ रहा है, Z बता रहे हो, ऐसा हो जाएगा. So please, your information part, the knowledge part, it is very important that you keep it in a very organized manner, Also during the search part, it is very important that you follow the hyperlinks also, like depth पे जाना है उसके, so that you can discuss it. एक होता क्या है, quiz question है, वो quiz question नहीं करेंगे. इसका कैपिटल बताओ, ये बताओ, वो बताओ, मतलब it will not be like such a simple एक क्वेश्चन पूछा, एक वर्ड का, 2 वर्ड का आंसर बोला. वो किसी चीज पे डिस्कस करने के लिए बोलेंगे या कुछ जानना चाहेंगे, तुम्हारा व्यूज क्या है, वो इंटरव्यू के क्वेश्चंस के थ्रू हो या WAT के थ्रू हो. सो इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू get an idea about the issues, not just mug some facts, figures. Get an idea. It's going to help you. Okay, what am I leaving apart from this? I'm not leaving anything. So okay, yeah, we were discussing about that, Saurabh. Okay, Saurabh wants me to discuss about the most important thing actually, your mental makeup. The mental makeup is very, very important, extremely important. Why? There is a possibility, and this will happen especially for the institute which you will be most desperate to join, that you will be taking too much stress that day. And the only way, to beat that stress is to know that you're prepared, and also that day to read the newspaper and be prepared like as much as possible. Like instead of focusing on the stress part, the most stressed you are feeling, you focus on the preparedness part. Because see, interview, no matter how subjective an exercise is, the preparation will show on that day. It won't happen that you're completely prepared and you go inside and you don't know anything. How is it possible? Tell me, is it possible? Now, when in the GWPI bootcamp, you'll be actually, in the interview room and you'll be giving interviews and all, you'll be seeing something very, very clearly. And what is that you'll be seeing is that the more you'll be working on the issues on the personal front, on the academic front, on the general awareness front, on the goal clarity front, you will be performing better actually in the interview. So you'll be literally seeing your performance improve over time. So I hope I have been clear with the GWPI bootcamp part completely. Now I want all of you, whatever personal doubts you have, you can basically DM me directly, message me, and I'll respond to you. Something specific to FMS SOP. So in the FMS, so in the FMS SOP, first you need to see FMS का क्या है, मतलब विजन स्टेटमेंट, मिशन, क्या पर्पस है, मकसद है, थोड़ा उसको भी दिखाना है SOP में. But majorly सबका SOP वही होगा. Majorly most of them will be having the same SOP actually. एसओपी में, क्योंकि थोड़ी ऐसा एफएमएस का कुछ और एसओपी होगा, एनआरसी मोन्जी का कुछ और होगा, अहमदाबाद का कुछ और होगा, अलग क्या होगा, यू नीड टू गो टू द वेबसाइट एंड यू नीड टू रीड कि क्या है, मतलब सबका सिजिल होता है, मोटो होता है, मतलब लाइक इंस्टीट्यूट्स आर हैविंग देयर ओन soul. You need to see what is their soul, and if you can connect to it, nothing better like that, but don't forcibly connect to it. And but you need to mention a little bit of it if it is possible. Plus in your SOP also, one thing is most important, you need to show a rounded up personality. Like I told you, points jitne honge uska tumhe point milega. So a rounded up personality. For example, I have personally seen that SOPs have not been rated well just because there was nothing related to selfless service or social work or anything, like completely devoid of anything related to the community or something like that. So that has faced some negative point. So well-rounded personality is very, very important. Like academic point of view से भी दिखाया, कुछ और भी personality के traits हैं, कुछ curricular का भी दिखा रहा है, कुछ अपना और भी मतलब like you are able to show that हाँ वो कैसे complete man Raymond's का वहां पर वो बड़ा CEO भी है, then he is coming home and he has a palatial home and he opens the door to his room and there are like these 20-30 cutest small white puppies all over him, and he's going to his lawn and he's basking in glory, complete man, personal, professional, all enjoyment. So you need to show a well-rounded SOP. That is very, very important, which captures most of the highlights of your candidature. That is your USP document, the unique selling. Your best points are your unique selling points. So something related to that. I hope I have been able to help you related to that. Plus, I have sent some videos. Also, I have a video also how to write an SOP. If you can read, you can look at it. I think it has been sent to the groups as well earlier. Word length of the SOP will differ actually. Some of the institutes will give you the word length, and basically you should not be verbose and you shouldn't be too basic. Like I told you about talked about being too basic, like your institute is so great and blah blah, and like what peer group I'll get and the distinguish this and that and hallmark कितने साल आप लोग को हो गए, क्या बढ़िया network होगा, placement होगा, ये वो, मतलब just cut this out. Just talk about your candidature. That's more important. So no verbosity and no global gas language. Talk about yourself. Okay, so anything else you guys want to ask? So I'll be seeing all of you. Basically I'll try to, so जिनको भी GWPI का learning करना है वो दिन Saturday Sunday बहुत important है. Morning 10:30, because of the fog I think we need to go at for 10:30 Saturday को. This will go on Saturday from 10:30 AM to 7 PM or 8 PM or 9 PM. देखना पड़ेगा, वो depends. You need to do as much as possible to get you exposed to as much variety in types of interviews, and so that when you again return and you can focus on the learning part, and then again you can come again like you'll be like you'll be straightened out. So sir, hi sir, which section should be in CV? Some sections will be like compulsory for everyone, like the 10th 12th graduation part, and those people who have work experience, the work profile, KRS, key result areas, or job responsibilities, the way they want to communicate it, or achievements. Once I was taking help for making my CV long time ago, I think in 2009. And one of my uncle, he was the VP HR at IBM here in India. So I approached him. I asked him how to make my resume. So this is what he told me. He said in an interview, suppose you're mentioning about your company, then you mention the name of the company and your position, and then you write about the key achievements. Like your CV needs to be that of someone who is always trying to give one's best. So it's more like the company's name is there, my position is there, then the key achievements, and then uske niche key result areas or key responsibilities after that. It's very, very important. Like first we are talking about what you have done good at, and then you're talking about why you have done good at it. Like kya tha, kya wo. So this helps to an extent in making you stand out, because he was doing like high level hiring, right? If he is the VP or president HR, these positions, they generally will be doing high level hiring only, like senior management. It's called head hunting actually. They'll be doing head hunting. So in these kind of positions, you will want basically an alpha player and someone who is trying to always give one's best. So this is very, very important in CV. You basically try to capitalize, leverage. Sir, please ask team to share sample resume. No, I won't do that, Mr. Ashish Srivastav. I won't do that. It's like the SOP sharing CV. SOP, why you want that? You make your own CV. I will tell you if you're going wrong. Trust in me, your mentor. You will send it to me no matter how shitty or pathetic it is. I will tell you it's okay. Maybe I was worse once. So like then we will construct it. But the problem is taking someone's CV like as a reference. You will just you will delete whatever he has written at whatever places with whatever heading, and you will just try to like your entire structure is going to be on that person's structure. Don't do that. That's the worst thing. Okay, good. I think I have responded to Abhishek Singh also by saying this. Okay, so it's a very personal thing, personal interview preparation. I'm there as your mentor, plus you'll be introduced to many other mentors as well. Please take help. Don't hesitate. Don't believe in me sharing or reading out. Sometimes it happens. So if suppose in a day, I will be saying, if I take the case of yesterday, see if yesterday, or if I take the case of Saturday specifically, because Sunday less people, most of the students were busy with the ZAT exam. So Saturday, if I would have checked around 70, 80 SOPs, then in those 70, 80 SOPs, at least 15, 20 SOPs were very good SOPs. But then I can't share. Why? Because इतना मेहनत करके वो अपना सबका improve कर रहे हैं बच्चे खुद का उनका why will they be liking if I expose their SOP to everyone? Tell me, will you like if I expose your SOP to everyone? Second, their answer, so which are the good SOPs where the students are able to bring out the highlights of their candidature. So how can you like compare, मतलब उनका अच्छा ही है क्योंकि वो सक्सेसफुल हुए अपने बेस्ट पॉइंट्स को अच्छे से दिखाने के लिए, उससे तुम्हारा क्या भला होने वाला है? मतलब तुम्हें तो अपना देखना है बेसिकली हाउ टू. इट्स ओके रामजी गुप्ता, यू कैन हैव हॉबीज एंड नॉट डेप्थ, बट इतना भी खोखला नहीं होना चाहिए कि आदमी मतलब टोपी उतारा तो गंजा निकला, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. कुछ तो अच्छा होना चाहिए उसमें बात करने के लिए. Do share documents about all we need to know about our city and state. Okay, so here again, Akshat, I would like to respond to everyone through this question that when you are researching on your city or your state, please use the PESEL framework, because अगर आप मानिए लखनऊ के हैं, if you are from Lucknow, then लखनऊ भी है, यूपी भी है, और पॉलिटिक्स भी देखना है, इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉलिटिक्स है स्टेट में, और इकोनॉमिक भी देखना है. अभी जैसे आप अखबार में पढ़ रहे होंगे, मिस्टर योगी is trying a lot, you know, to raise money. He's saying that if India has to be 5 trillion, then UP has to play a very important role and all. So road shows are happening in different parts, and he's sending his minister also like Gopal Das Nandi to, you know, different countries abroad like Belgium and all, and try to raise funds from Australia as well. So they are trying to economic, like, you know, there was this ODOP program, even though it was started by Akhilesh Yadav, one district, one product program, but then Yogi government also has been working on it, where every district will be having some specific product. So economic thoda jana hai, social bhi bahut janna hai, because idhar hi from you know, the reservation thing to the Mandal Commission to Mayawati to this, the social fabric and all. This is a very important state, very, very important state. So then legal also, you will see a lot of things are there. For example, I recall that once I went to meet the DGP of UP police. Then I met a lady there. She was the one who had filed the triple talaq case there in Supreme Court, and these guys won and all. So like a legal front पे भी lot of things are happening, because law and order front पे भी देखना होगा यहाँ पर. Then the environmental front is also very, very important, because you will be seeing Lucknow and Kanpur and these places generally being among the most polluted you know, cities. Even though it is generally said that the people there in Punjab, Haryana, they are burning stubble, and you know, the further things are getting deteriorated because of that. So like you need to know from PESEL, using the PESEL framework, you need to do city state है, तो आपका city है, तो उसका historical monuments भी है, river भी, you'll have to study. Sometimes it happens that the interview is just on this, and this is ridiculous actually. It happened to me in IIM-Indore's interview. They're just asking about these things, you know, rivers and rivers of your state and mountains of your state, as that has some bearing to MBA. But fine, she may be thinking that, oh, matlab it is compulsory. You have to know these things. So unfortunately, you have to know these things. Use a PESTEL framework. It's very important. पता चला बहुत पढ़ के गए लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजिकल में ही नहीं कुछ पढ़ के गए और वो उसके ही बारे में पूछा. It shouldn't happen like that at all. Technological, especially, you need to study a lot. And please stop using Chat GPT. Don't use that because maybe it is possible that some of the answers are not real, like they're the wrong answers. So don't do. If you don't know about it, it's good that you don't know about it. Don't try to know about it. Yes, green hydrogen also is very important as it is not leaving any carbon extract, something like that. You can use all the many topics. This is one of the topics. There are many things. Sir, how much are working professionals bring on few months of preparation gap taken for MBA exams? Well, depends on the duration, like 2-3 months, 3-4 months, 5-6 months. It's okay. It's 1.5 year, 2 years, and of course there'll be a question asked. So you need to be prepared. It is not compulsory. Like, have they written if their motive of these IIMs or top institutes was that if you have gap, then you are not welcome. They would have written that you're not welcome. Why will they waste their time in increasing the burden of checking through again? Fine. So if no more questions are there, I'm anyways available on. So some of you have missed the most important session, the first GWPI session which happened at IGP. Because if you guys have missed, I can share the presentation, and if you have a presentation which we had made and I had used it in the seminar, and if some of you have, I think most of you have attended it, so no problem. You would have seen the recording. So fine. Right now, what is my expectation from you? Very simple. My expectation is A, you will start working like a bullet train on your personal interview questions. Finish it off ASAP. We will send it again on all the Telegram groups. Second, get into the mode of reading. Get into the mode of reading. रात को सो रहे हैं, पढ़ रहे हैं, सुबह उठा, बाथरूम भी गया, पढ़ रहा है, हमेशा पढ़ रहा है, बस पढ़ रहा है. क्या पढ़ रहा है? अरे भाई, जो चल रहा है, वर्ल्ड में चल रहा है, दुनिया में चल रहा है, लाइक इंडिया में चल रहा है, लाइक यू हैव टू जस्ट बी ऑन द टॉप ऑफ द अवेयरनेस. इन्फो चाहिए. सो गेट इनटू द रीडिंग मोड, बट ज्यादा टाइम पर्सनल इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस उसको खत्म करना है फ्राइडे तक. देन अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल है, अपना इंडस्ट्री का थोड़ा एनालिसिस करो. रिसर्च रिपोर्ट्स होते हैं सबसे पहले तो कंसल्टिंग कंपनीज के रिसर्च रिपोर्ट्स होते हैं, तो यू ट्राई गेटिंग अ होल्ड ऑफ वन ऑफ दोज रिपोर्ट विच इज अ पॉपुलर रिपोर्ट. For example, for ITA sector, Gartner report used to be popular when I was preparing. So you need to look at some good report and you need to study the report. It is very, very important. And academic people, they need to brush up on their academic and they need goal clarity. That's very important. Working people, it's easier for them to connect, to an extent. But academic people, sometimes if there's a total disconnect, boom, everything good, but goal clarity zero, not selected. So work on it. An answer on how many sentences would be ideal for personal questions. No, it depends how many points you have. Some people will have more points, some people will have less points. You don't need to be verbose. That's all. Okay, guys. So we'll be calling it the day. And if you have any doubts, we can connect personally. And this interview prep is a short-term activity where more energy is required. You need to work more. It's not like CAT preparation where the duration is long, so you can breathe easy. More preparation, need to do more and work harder. All the best. Thank you. Thank you, Akash.